people want to be perceived as being successful and having their success acknowledged to be theirs, right? And a term has come along that I hear again and again and again from all manner of folk. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go on YouTube, I'm going to type in the phrase, and I want to see what we get, just as a demonstration. Now, the term is, I manifested this. Now, my understanding is that what they're talking about in the whole manifestation thing is somewhat like a whole meditation thing, like, I willed this into existence through my brain power, you know? And I find that kind of funny, but let me just try and get an example or two. We'll pull up the old, you know, the full-on YouTube. So, I manifested this. Yeah, it's going to be a load of shorts, and I knew Israel Adesanya would have popped up. Problem, I can't mute. I can't... There's a real problem with shorts where you can't... Yeah, I can hear his voice. You can't mess with the volume, so I'm going to have to do it like this and hope it doesn't, you know, blast all that ears off. Let me go back to Mackie D's for a sec so I can, you know... No, actually, my Spotify was on my other monitor, but it's all good. I'm not in my box today, but...
I told you I manifested this. I manifested this.
Let's get it.
I made it.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's get it. So what he was talking about there was, he was watching a fight happen. Two rivals of his, he wanted one of them to win, so he could fight the one who won. The one who won was the person he wanted to win. And he's in the crowd saying, I manifested this. So, not through any of his own actions, he is basically claiming that... He'll probably explain it a little better here.
I've used the story of me when I drive this beat up Honda and I'd shift the gear stick and not just do this. I literally, it was madness. It was me preparing for having a sports car. I was getting ready. Bro, I can manifest like a motherfucker. Everything comes from the imagination. So the power of the mind, people don't understand. We still don't understand. I still don't understand how powerful it is. I've manifested things that I'm just like, I still shock myself. Like, how the fuck did I make that happen? And this is not even to do with fighting. This is to do with my personal life. And I'm like, I made that happen. And this is through this like manifesting subconsciously as well. Just years of something just manifesting, and boom, it's right there. I'm just like, I really made that happen. I've used the story of me when I...
No. No, you didn't, mate. What you did was you did things. You can have the power of positive mental energy. However, your brain does not manifest the universe. What you do is you use positive mental energy to motivate yourself into action, to do things. These people, what they're saying is they want personal mind credit for changing the actual universe, when what they're really saying is, I did a few things. Because that doesn't sound as good, you know what I mean? But they have to use this mental gymnastics to try and sound impressive, to, you know, make it seem even mystical that I just conjured this like a magician, you know? How I manifested 120 years, I don't even want to watch that, to be honest. We manifested this episode. How I manifested 1 million in 5 days. How I manifested 1 million 3 times. It's all about money. It's all about power. How to manifest anything you want in life. So, anything. Think about that. Anything you want in life. Think about the level of anything. Meaning, not just you. You think you can mentally manifest other people's actions. Now, what you can do is use psychological manipulation. You can use all sorts of tactics to affect the world around you. But what you can't do is think things into existence. Stop trying to, as a successful person, claim that you can, you know, have the mental power to change the universe around you through your thought alone. Because that's what you're basically doing. And one, it kind of gives a false narrative to people who are, you know, trying to get somewhere in life. You're basically saying, or, because most of the time they never really mention the hard work. Like Adesanya does, because, you know, he's a UFC fighter, so him training is a big part of his PR. But a lot of these people, it's just manifest, manifest, manifest. And it's just kind of devoid of the hard work. And everything behind it boiled up into this one phrase of immense stupidity. Can you manifest the lottery win? Wow. From chat, how to manifest YouTube ad money. Had a weird thing randomly from Fletcher in chat. I'd randomly think of a TV show and see it come on later that day. It happens a lot. I'm no psycho mantis, but it's weird. It happens more than twice. What normally happens there, Fletcher, is you will have a subconscious idea, or if you watch like quite a bit of TV, you'll have an understanding of the routine of TV itself. Like, you won't actually consciously know that routine, but you'll have some subconscious idea of how either that system works to be able to predict it, or you just merely think of a lot of things, and because that thing ended up happening, that's the thing that gets brought to the front of your mind. You know what I mean? It's a nice little trick the brain does. And this is probably where a lot of this manifestation stuff comes from. Manifesting wealth. No, you create wealth, or you steal it. You know, you got the two options. Manifest isn't one of them. You know, you either create it, or you take it from someone else. Creating wealth, digging it out the ground, I mean, you still end up taking some, you know, resource from other people. But manifest, you can't just conjure this stuff up, man. It's, I did the 3-day manifestation challenge and won the lottery. I manifested and won the lottery. Well, a lot of people winning the lottery, right? You know. I manifested winning the lottery. Manifested this in 3 hours. Here's how it worked. The law of attraction. Again, a lot of this stuff, you could argue, is bound in actual teaching, whether when it comes to, you know, sociology or psychology. But don't dumb it down into believing that it's all your own mental mind power. These are very, very complex systems, you know? And all you want to do when you're saying this is to either promote yourself as some mental magician to other people. Like, all these YouTube videos have an agenda, right? They're looking for ad revenue. They put it in the title for ad revenue. Or, on the other hand, what you're trying to do is you're trying to convince yourself that you have these mental mind powers, you know? Because the human brain is always looking for justification. It's always looking for a way out of, like, thinking heavily. Thinking heavily causes pain, right? Normally, you know, it's normally drawn out of existentialism. But a lot of people who study math go crazy, kind of deal, you know? Thinking heavily about some abstract stuff can really affect you. And that goes for thinking in general. Hey, do it, but, you know, watch out. You know, you want some time off. But what these people are doing is trying to dumb it down to, obviously, especially successful people have often worked hard and are looking for a bit of mental relief. So they dumb it down into manifestation. And it's not helpful to people who are starting out. That thinking about manifestation is an end goal, in my opinion. It's not a process someone can use starting out. Because it is a crutch when you get there as a mental relief. It doesn't actually, in my opinion, have any effect starting the journey to, you know, becoming who you want to be. And it's certainly not gonna, you know, change the world around you. You might think so much about the world around you in various different ways, because you never just think about what things in a singular fashion. normally. You think about all sorts of deviations of reality and how it could go. So when something does happen, it's likely you might have thought about that happening. So you work retroactively, then saying, oh, I thought about that, thus I manifested it. No, you thought about 100 different things. And that just was one of them. But now you're claiming that because you thought of it, amongst 100 different things, that you manifested it. It doesn't work like that, man. Again, there's massive gaps in this here singular statement of manifestation. And it's kind of annoying. I manifested myself out of jail.
I literally manifested my way out of prison, out of a 12-year sentence, 2.5 years, and I hit the ground running. We were allowed to watch movies once a month. Shawshank Redemption came on. Tim Robbins says they can take anything they want away from me, but they can't take away my mind. Instantly, an epiphany just hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm in prison, but in losing my freedom, I discovered my freedom, and nothing that anybody could do externally could take away what I could give to myself internally. They called me into the office. This was out of nowhere. And they said, Jones, we retested the drugs instantly. I was like, why'd you retest the drugs? You already tested them 3 times. We retested the drugs. 90% was fake. And for the amount that was real, you've already done the time. You're free to go home.
It doesn't work like that. What are you on about? The drugs, was he selling drugs or something like that? Because say you're selling drugs or whatever, it doesn't matter if any of them are fake. It's the intention behind the sale. Also, say you have cocaine, 90% of that is not going to be cocaine anyway. It's called cutting it. What the hell is he talking about? He wants a narrative to sound cool. This is all of what YouTube Shorts is. Or a lot of what popular people go to, right? Just that quick, easy narrative that's there for stupid people to kind of think and look at and think, oh, that's a amazing dude. Watch him go. What a magician, you know? Whereas the clown hat, I believed him. They obviously got the mind flayer parasites. Look at the terminology. Manifested. Man-infested coincidence. What the hell is he on about, though? 90% of the stuff was fake? What? Doesn't matter. Again, if you sell 100 pounds of something and you get arrested with 100 pounds, you are going to be charged with £100 possession or intent to supply. If they then test it, it doesn't matter if 90% of it was fake. There has been precedent in court that if you sell something that is 100% fake, that you will still be charged for the intent to sell the actual illegal substance, even if it's fake. So what the hell's he on about? I mean, we're probably missing some context there, but I can't, like, just watching... What? I'm crumbling into dust, trying to think of any logical reason at all for what was just said. I can't manifest the answer. It's a great weakness of mine, it must be. Let that be a lesson to drug dealers everywhere. Yeah, just sell the fake stuff, man. I do me 6. I believe them. They obviously... Oh, right. Never mind. Oh, dearie me. When I stopped manifesting my SP to manifest my SP. I don't even... Again... How I manifested a job. Oh, what is manifesting?
So what is manifesting as you understand it?
It's basically just wishing or believing that what you want is going to happen.
Is there a process to manifesting something?
Mine's very simple. I just write 3 things on like my I have a whiteboard in front of my bed.
And that's not manifesting. That's a fucking process. Right. That is an actual psychological process of writing stuff down. If you write something down, it sticks in your brain more, thus you're more likely to do it. You are not manifesting. That is an action that leads to more action. You are not a fucking wizard. Oh man, can people just stop? You know? I wrote it down.
First thing in the morning and last thing before I go to bed at night. I have this rule when I'm manifesting something is that you don't tell other people your manifestations so that they don't put negative energy into it.
So what is manifesting as you understand it?
It's basically
Moon crystal powers, but with words. What's going on? The thing is, again, there's a great deal of power in writing stuff down, like a list. You all know the power of lists, right? You write down a list, you are entirely more likely to go down that list. Again, the human brain is kind of wired to enjoy a bit of list, right? Because you've got you got number one. Oh, number one's out of the way. You see, you cross it off the list. You get a bit of joy from seeing crossed off, you know? Then you go down to the second one, and it's a motivation thing. Again, it's not a conjuring. It's not a worldly, ethereal trick you're doing. You're just using it's a use of psychology. But the word manifestation, again, often the people who say it as well will make it seem not essentially mystical or anything, but they will kind of, like Adesanya in the clip we watched before, saying, I manifested this fight to go the way else I wanted to. No, you didn't. You can't do that. Yeah. It's just, people have individual choices, and people make their own actions. Hey, you can, manipulate or, all sorts of effects you can personally have on the world. But that's, again, inspired by action, not through just solid thinking about it, making the universe bend to your will through your thought. It's like a meditation that helps you perform action, but they never explain it clearly enough to get away from the feeling that this is some new age mystical kind of universe bending thing they're doing. And it's quite easy to just explain, we're just using psychological tricks to, help us, to motivate us to make positive impacts and change in our lives. Quite easy, that, isn't it? But they never go there. They don't say that. It's like that dude, I manifested myself out of jail. What? Oh, no, you didn't, mate. I'm not even sure the story he said was actually contextually true, considering one of the holes that poked in it. Is she eventually gonna manifest getting divorced 5 times? Oh. Yeah, that's a great George Carlin quote. That. Think of how dumb the average person is, and then realise half of the population is dumber than that.